In this presentation, we'll talk about some of the vocabulary that's used when talking about big business and industry. A monopoly, you've all heard this word, but a monopoly is a business that controls all or most of the supply of a product. So an example would be in the game of Monopoly, you want to control all the properties on the board in order to win. We used to have a monopoly. AT&T was a phone company monopoly. You didn't have any choice about what phone company you used. It was all AT&T. So AT&T had total control. They could also control the prices. A trust. A trust is when several businesses act as one under the control of a board of directors. So you essentially have a board of directors that acts like a governing body, and it controls several businesses, usually related to the same type of thing, the same industry. So a trust is formed with the intent to monopolize. Okay, it's often corrupt. It often restricts trade and fixes prices for all the companies that it governs. Example of that would be Standard Oil Company and also the American Steel Company. And this is a political cartoon showing a milk trust, and of course there is the captain of industry there with the cigar. And of course the poor little person can't possibly reach high enough, can't possibly pay the price for that bottle of milk. A merger is when two or more businesses join together or combine to form one larger business. So to get back to the phone company again, Verizon and Alltel merging, or AT&T and Singular merging. Of course, this reduces competition. A holding company is a company that exists to own or control other businesses. So it's a parent company. It's sort of similar to a trust, except instead of having a board of directors, it is its own company that just manages other businesses. Businesses can be unrelated companies, unlike a trust, and it does not intrinsically produce any goods or services. It simply manages these other businesses. And we have multinational holding companies today. There are two types of monopolies: horizontal integration and vertical integration. Horizontal integration is a type of monopoly formed by controlling all the same type of business. Okay, so for example, Postal Service to some degree has a monopoly. Nobody else can send letters. That can only be done through the Postal Service. Windows is another type of monopoly. Of course, they make it so anybody who creates applications has to comply with Windows standards. Electricity is also often monopolized. So George Westinghouse and also James Duke in the tobacco industry had a monopoly as well. Vertical integration is a monopoly formed by controlling business related to the primary business. So the example here is Rockefeller owned everything, all the businesses related to oil, beginning with the oil drills, then also the oil refineries, and finally the oil distribution. So he owned all the businesses that did each one of those items. That way he had total control of the industry. And this is a graphic organizer that I think kind of helps you to understand the difference between vertical and horizontal integration. The top row there is resources. Okay, so you have companies that own resources. The middle row is the manufacturing companies. And then the bottom is distribution companies. So with vertical integration, You have people that own all parts of an industry. Okay, this is the Rockefeller example. So if you were making paper, for example, you would control the businesses that cut down trees. You would control the businesses, the paper mills that process the trees and make it into paper. You would also control the companies that distribute paper. With horizontal integration, you would simply own all the paper mills, all the companies that manufacture paper. I hope that kind of explains the difference between vertical and horizontal integration. So that's it for technology and industry. I look forward to seeing you in class.